Are you having a hard time with making your fragrances last longer? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a look at the 5 ways that you can make your fragrances last longer. I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, the first tip I have for you in making your fragrances last longer is you have to take a look at the concentration. So, for example, if you're wearing a fragrance like 4711, this is an eau de cologne composition. This is not going to last you a very long time on your skin. As a matter of fact, you might get 20 to 30 minutes. So know that fragrances have a ranking in terms of how well they perform depending on the concentration of aromatic compounds. You're going to start at an eau de cologne. Usually it's aftershave at the bottom, then eau de cologne, then eau de toilette, then eau de parfum, then extrait de parfum, and then you're going to have a perfume oil which really has no alcohol in it. So if you're wearing something like this and then you're surprised that it's not lasting a long time, it might just be because it's a lower concentration. So always make sure you read up and find out what concentration is the fragrance that you're spraying on. If it's something like a Nasamato, it's going to last you ages on your skin. So that is my first tip, know your fragrance's concentration. Now the second way that you can make fragrances last longer is if you spray it on clothing. I know a lot of people overlook this one, and it's not something that you can do with all fragrances. You always have to take a look at the color of the liquid inside the bottle, because if it is too dark, it might actually stain your clothing. So you want to avoid wearing something like Nasamato's Black Afghano or Lady Gaga's Fame perfume. Those are things that are going to stain your clothing. You always want to make sure you go for something that's a little bit lighter. Now, I have personally purchased aromatic oils over at Creating Perfume, and for those particular oils, some of them do last on a scent strip for 400 hours. It's incredible. So just imagine if you're spraying this thing on your clothes, that's something that's going to last for a very long time. It doesn't quite eat it up the way that your skin does, and your skin and your body does produce heat, and heat is what allows the fragrance to evaporate off your skin. So if you can't afford to spray it on clothes, and I'm actually going to give you a bonus tip here, spray it in your hair. Yes, this is something that I learned from another YouTuber, Cody, over at the channel Drakdoc. He said that the oils in your hair are going to make the fragrance retain its moisture a little bit longer, and it actually does work for me as well. Also, if you spray it on the back of your head, you're going to leave a nice little scent trail as you're walking. Tip number 3, moisturize before you apply. I like to use a product like Baldwin's Savvy Care for Men. They are the sponsors of this video, and what I like about this is it leaves your skin feeling very soft, but I've also worked in the paint industry for a very long time. We all know the importance of having an adequately prepared surface before you put on your top coat. So in other words, you need a primer, you need an underbody, and what this does is it allows you to create that adequate surface, that optimal condition for the fragrance to really live and thrive on. So what I would do is I would apply a little bit on my skin, and then I would take the fragrance, whatever it may be, and if you were getting 6 hours longevity from it before, you might be surprised to find that now you're getting about 8 hours longevity from it. Now, I do want to mention that this fragrance does have a bit of a smell to it, but it's not overwhelming or overpowering that it's going to clash with your fragrance. So I would highly recommend checking out this product. Once again, thank you to Baldwin for being the sponsor of this video. I'm going to leave all of their information down below to where you can check them out, and they were also gracious enough to give us a 15% off coupon code. Just use the code Redolessence at checkout to get 15% off your entire order. Tip number 4, Molecule 01. Yes, a lot of us have heard about this scent. This is essentially a fragrance that is comprised of one note, and that note is ISO-E Super. Now, the cool thing about ISO-E Super is it's a base note. It's a fixative, which means it has a larger molecular structure. It's going to take a longer time to evaporate. So if you really want a triple whammy here, you would put lotion on your hand or wherever, and then you would spray Molecule 01 on top of it. Wait about a minute, and then spray your real fragrance on top of that. Say you want to wear Dior Homme Intense or something like that. So you would do lotion, Molecule 01, and then Dior Homme Intense. You might also be surprised to see that you're going to get more compliments using that method as well. And tip number 5 for making your fragrances last longer is don't spray on your neck. I know this is going to sound like a bit of a contradiction because the more you spray, a lot of people think the longer it's going to last. I'll tell you something that happened to me once. I sprayed on my neck, and the fragrance lasted about 4 to 5 hours. And I was thinking to myself, man, but I thought this fragrance was going to perform better. One time I did one spray on the back of my hand, that's it, same exact fragrance. I found it lasted 7 to 8 hours on my skin. That's because scent rises. So because I was smelling it all the time, I went into a state of olfactory fatigue to where I couldn't smell the fragrance anymore. So a lot of times, it's not because the fragrance stopped performing, it's because your body got accustomed to the stimuli and therefore began to tune it out. So it is something called olfactory fatigue. So make sure to not spray on your neck, spray a little bit lower. I know a trick that some people do is they spray on the back of their knees and then the scent rises up. Of course, you can't do this if you're wearing jeans, only if you're wearing shorts or something like that. But that's a really cool tip to keep in mind. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those were my 5 tips and tricks to make your fragrances last longer. What did I miss? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. I also, once again, want to give a very special thank you to Baldwin for being the sponsor of this video. Definitely make sure to check them out. Use coupon code Redolessence at checkout to get a discount off your purchase. And once again, don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and remember to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. This way you never miss any of my future content. Thank you once again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.